So, what do you understand by DOS? If I say, what do you understand by DOS or DDoS attack, as per your understanding?
DOS is a Microsoft one, I guess. Windows DOS.
Okay, so actually here we are talking about when we say DOS, we are referring to denial of service attack. Okay,
Okay.
not the DOS prompt or DOS operating
Mm-hmm.
systems. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so DOS is an attack that is it's an attack against the availability of a resource. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
DOS basically stands for your denial of service attack.
Okay.
Okay. So basically, what happens in case of denial of service attack is there is going to be an attacker, there is going to be a target service, target server, target
Mm-hmm.
machine, web application. It can be anything. There is going to be one target and one
Mm-hmm.
attacker. What attacker is going to do is attacker is going to send huge number of requests, or I would say attacker is going to flood the target with huge number of requests. Okay, so that
What
the target,
request? Sorry.
sorry,
What request are we talking about?
the request can be of any type.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like if you are visiting a Google server. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
you are typing google.com in your browser.
Mm-hmm.
So what you are doing, you are basically generating a request to the
Mm-hmm.
Google server, right? When
Mm-hmm.
so this is also a request. You are requesting Google server to provide you with the web page,
Yeah.
right? Right. So similarly, the attacker is going to generate huge number of requests against the target system. It can be target system or server. It can be anything, such that all these requests are going to be flooded. These requests are going to be bogus. Okay, and what this is going to result in is the server is going to get overwhelmed. Okay, it is going to become overworked, overwhelmed,
Mm-hmm.
overloaded with huge number of requests, and it is going to stop serving any request any further. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so just simplifying it, for example, we can consider it this way: like there's a laptop or there's a
Mm-hmm.
workstation. Okay, there is limited RAM on that system. Let's
Mm-hmm.
say 8 GB.
Mm-hmm.
8 GB of RAM is there, and whenever you
Mm-hmm.
run an application, let's say you are
Mm-hmm.
running a game, and it is utilizing 1 GB of RAM. One game
Mm-hmm.
you are running, it's utilizing 1 GB of RAM.
Mm-hmm.
What you did is you started one game, so out of 8 GB, 1 GB of RAM was allocated to that game. Now what you did
Mm-hmm.
was you started another game. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
another game just occupied another 1 GB of RAM
Mm-hmm.
out of that 7 GB. Now 6 GB of RAM is left. Similarly, you went on and you started probably 7 to 8 games.
Mm-hmm.
So if when you started 7 to 8 games parallelly, what happened was all of these games individually occupied 1 GB of RAMs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now you are trying to run more games. Now you are trying to start with more game. All your RAM has already been exhausted and already been allotted. Okay. Now the system is not having any free RAM
Mm-hmm.
to allocate to any new process that you can
Mm-hmm.
think of. But now you are starting your game. Now you have started four more games in your system. Okay. So
Okay.
what is going to happen now?
It's
You
going to
you
be like a slow
right
down really badly.
right. So it is going to start lagging initially. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The lag is going to start as soon as you opened your seventh or eighth game. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It is going to start lagging as the RAM has been exhausted. But when you still proceed on with other tasks, what is going to happen? The system is going to start moving towards the failure state. Okay, and if you persist, the system is going to crash probably.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that okay, I'm done with this thing here.
Yeah.
It's over. I'm not able to serve your request, so I'm just crashing now. Okay, I'm just going to abruptly turn off myself.
Mhm.
First of all, I am going to get hanged, and then I am going to turn off myself. That's the way how your system is going to behave if you ask him, if you overload your system in a way.
Mhm.
Okay. So basically, this is also an example of request. Okay. So you are also requesting your system to run a game, right?
Mhm.
This is also an example of request. And what you did was you flooded. Okay. So as it was
Yep.
an hypothetical example, we just made 8 to 10 requests as we started 8 to 10 games. But
Mhm.
practically, you can understand that a system can probably handle more than this number of requests. So
Mhm.
always there is going to be a threshold to any resource. Okay,
Yep.
there is going to be a threshold value for 8 GB of RAM. There is going to be a threshold for 16. There is going to be a threshold for 64. You cannot think it like that. That I have upgraded my laptop from 8 to 16. Now it is never going to crash. No, that is not the case. You have just upgraded your threshold, the upper limit after which it is going to start lagging. That's all. It is still going to
Mhm.
lag. It is the only difference is that it is going to lag a bit later.
Mhm.
So I hope you get the idea that in case of websites as well, behind the scenes there is a web server that is running. Okay, that is serving your request whenever you are asking, whenever you are willing to open a website. You are trying to open a website. Basically, what you are doing, you are sending a request to the web server.
Mhm.
Okay, you are sending the request to the web server.
Mhm.
At the end of the day, that web server is also going to have some configurations, some technical
Mhm.
configuration that it has this much RAM, processor,
Yep.
hard drive space, this much capacity, and this much number of requests can be handled by that server. Right?
Mhm.
Let's say that server can handle 1,000 requests at a time.
Mhm.
Okay, it's a small scale server and it can handle 1,000 requests at any given point of time. So what you did was you sent the 1,000 requests, and now you started sending 1,000 more and 1,000 more and
Mhm.
1,000 more. You sent 4,000, 5,000 requests to a server which was only capable of handling 1,000 requests at a given point
1,000.
of time.
Yep.
So that server is going to be overloaded. It is going to become overwhelmed with all the requests that it is receiving. Okay,
Mhm.
so again that server is going to go into your turn down state. It is going to get turned down. Okay, okay, that's all from my side, and I would not be able to serve any more requests from now on. So I'm just shutting myself off. I'm not able to
Mhm.
handle all stuff, all the pressure that you are trying to put upon me,
Mhm.
like that. So that is your basically DOS attack. So what happens in DOS attack? If we are going to flood a server, that server is going to stop responding in a while, and any legitimate requests, if any legitimate user tries to access that server for any legitimate use, this server is not going to respond to his or her request as well,
Mhm.
to the legitimate request as well. So this is your DOS attack on denial of service.
Yep.
You got the picture right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So there's another thing called DDoS attack, that is basically your distributed DOS attack. Okay, so what is the difference between denial of service attack and distributed denial of service attack? Yeah, so and what happens in denial of service attack is DOS attack, all this traffic, all these requests that are being generated,
Mhm.
that are going to be generated from a single source. This is your target server, let's say, and this is your attacker. all these n number of requests that I'm talking about, all of these requests are going to be generated from a single device. The origin of all these requests are going to be 1.
Mm-hmm.
So DOS basically have, I would say, single source. The source of all these requests are only 1.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens in case of DDoS attack? As it is distributed DOS,
Distributed denial of service attack.
yeah. So on this left side, the number of source from where requests are going to be generated.
Mm-hmm. On a single server.
Yeah, they are going to be increased. So number of sources are going to be more than 1.
Mm-hmm.
The target is going to be single only. So now the requests are going to be generated from n number of sources
Okay.
simultaneously. That is going to be your DDoS attack.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So now comes another important term here, that is your bot. What is your bot? What is your botnet? And what is your CNC? These three terms you need to be aware of.
Yes. CNC. What is the CNC actually?
Yeah, I'll tell you. I have written
Yeah.
it. Explain you only. So do you understand what is bot? I do not need to explain bot.
uh, I read it actually.
Okay.
Bit later.
So bot is basically a system
Mm-hmm.
or a resource that has already been compromised by the attacker.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So and what is botnet? Botnet is basically the network of bots.
Bots.
Okay. So these systems, in case of DDoS attack, these systems individually are going to be your bots. These systems are already compromised by the attacker. They are already been hacked by the attacker, and these systems are controlled by the attacker. Okay.
Uh-huh.
And when I combine these systems together collectively, this becomes botnet.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, this is your network of bots. That is your botnet, right?
Yep.
So now arises a question that how the attacker would be able to manage all these systems simultaneously. If he has created a network of systems that have been compromised, so that means all these machines are controlled by the attacker.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how would he be able to control all these machines at a given point of time? That is the question.
So one more time. So how he can control the all of the machine at a single time
Yeah.
to the server, I guess.
So here comes your the role of CNC.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. CNC is basically your command and control center.
Mm-hmm.
So the attacker is going to build a command and control center,
Mm-hmm.
and now the attacker is going to connect all these systems to the CNC.
Command and control.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So that's a server.
Right.
Command and control is a server,
Right. Right.
but it's already connected with the other server as well. So now it's connecting with the two server at a single time.
Not only two servers, it is going to be connected
Hello?
to whole, yeah, n number of
Hello?
servers. Hello. Yeah, can you hear me? Navneet, can you hear me?
Yeah, sorry, I lost the connection one time.
Okay, so I was saying that it is not only going to be connected to two systems, it is going to be connected to n number of systems.
Yeah, I'm talking about server.
Yeah.
So, n number of system
Okay,
is
first
going
of
to
all,
connect.
which server? This server?
Hmm.
Okay, so this is your CNC, right?
Yep, command and
Yeah.
control server.
Yeah. Right.
That's created by attacker.
Yeah, this is going to be created by attacker, and now
Yeah.
all these botnets are going to be connected to this server by the attacker,
Okay.
so that all of them can be remotely controlled. So what attacker is going to do is attacker is going to send command to the CNC,
Hmm.
and now that CNC is going to command these botnet
Hmm.
individually.
Hmm.
Okay, so CNC is basically a centralized way of managing all these bots, all these
Hmm.
individual bots.
Hmm.
You can, yeah. So what
But
was your question?
so currently, all those systems are connecting with the CNC command and control server, which is bit server, and is also connected with the its own actual server.
Its own actual server.
Like how we have it, we have a bit server, right? We have a command and control server on the left hand side, yeah,
Right.
which is attacker. In the
Right.
middle, there is all the systems,
These are your botnets.
botnets, yeah. And on the right hand side, that's the other server.
That is your target.
Yeah, that's my target. But
Right.
what we are trying to do as an attacker is going to send the request to all the systems to get to the actual server. Is it right?
Right. Right. So we,
Okay.
as an attacker, we are going to try to command these botnet
Hmm.
to generate bogus requests or to flood the target server.
Hmm.
That's our main motive.
Yep.
Yeah. Right. Clear.
Clear.
Okay. So I've just explained you the command is going, let me change the color of it. So the command is going to be sent to the CNC. The CNC is going to forward that command to bot, individual bot, and now then bot is going to generate the traffic and going to send it to the target server.
Target server. Yeah.
Yeah, similarly it is going to happen this way. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Now there are various techniques of DOS attack. And
Hmm.
again, DOS attack can be intentional or it can be unintentional as well. Okay. So intentional is going to be like when you are specifically targeting a server and you are willingly doing something with an
Hmm.
intention to crash that server, probably. Okay.
Hmm.
That is going to be intentional, as the name itself signifies. I don't think that it
Yeah.
needs much of explanation.
Yeah.
But how does an unintentional DOS takes place? Any any example you can provide?
So unintentionally, it could be uh, if we are installing server or like systems on a one server, and instead of server can handle only 5 system to be built up, and we are building 10 instead of that.
Mhm.
So and we are not aware of it. Yeah.
Right? It can be an option,
Um.
it can be a scenario,
Yeah.
right?
So
But
that's what I can think of.
if we talk about DDoS attack, how can an unintentional DDoS attack occur? If I talk about that, so in that case, a very good example is going to be like we can take an example of, I would say, my college website. Okay,
Mhm.
so during the during my college days, what used to happen was, this is something that we have experienced practically. Whenever the result used to be
Yeah.
announced, suddenly, what was the scenario? All the university guys,
Everyone's trying to get into the result sites, like
right,
as a board exam when the board exam happen.
right,
Is it right?
right,
Like when the
right, right.
result comes and everyone is trying to take, trying to get
Access
the
the right,
result at the
yeah,
same time.
right. So everybody is like sending request to the server that I want to see it, I want to see it, and this request are
Yep.
generating from n number of sources.
Yep.
So it is
Delhi
distributed.
police. Yeah, Delhi
Yeah,
police. When the Delhi police recruitment open, everyone's trying to get into it. Big four.
yeah.
I felt of them.
So
Okay. For
you tried
others,
to.
okay. No, 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 no. I help other people. I used to work in the cyber cafe when I was 16, so I know.
Okay, okay, nice, nice.
Mhm,
So you understand it. So what happens is, nobody's at the end of the day, nobody's able to check out the result. Okay,
yeah.
why? Because after a certain point of time, within 5 minutes or 10 minutes, probably max to max 15 minutes, the
Mhm,
server is so overloaded with the request that server
mhm,
crashes, and now any more requests are not going to be served by the server. The
mhm,
server stops responding to any more request.
mhm,
Okay. Now what happens is, this server is going to take some cooldown time. Some
mhm,
administrator is going to probably reboot the server after some while.
mhm,
After probably 6 hours, 12 hours, 24 hours, the server is
mhm,
going to come online again. And now,
mhm.
little by little, requests are going to be served, because now
Yeah.
a whole lot of people would not be trying again.
Mhm,
So that way, things happen. So that's an example of an unintentional DDoS attack. Okay, the exam
mhm.
results is one example, and another one is your when this Tatkal booking opens in
Which
the
booking?
this IRCTC
Okay.
website, when
Yeah.
Tatkal ticket booking opens.
Mhm, mhm, mhm,
That it opens for, I would say it opens around 10 a.m. and suddenly huge number of requests are received by the this booking website.
mhm,
Not only this, when this Flipkart announced their first big billion day sale,
mhm,
it was about when they just came up with this idea that
mhm,
everything for 1 rupee or 2 rupees, everything got cheap, and so,
mhm,
such stuff like that. At that time also, they prepared their servers,
mhm,
increased number of requests. Okay, they added on the resources on the back end. Okay,
mhm,
that probably they expected that more requests are going to be generated during our big billion day sale, as we are going to
mhm,
launch it. But
mhm,
what happened practically was, the number of requests they actually received was way more than what they expected, way more than
mhm,
what they prepared for.
mhm,
Okay, and again, during that time, unintentional conflict,
mhm,
that all everyone from around the India was trying to
mhm,
access that those Flipkart servers for those cheap goods that they were offering.
mhm.
So that's an example of unintentional DDoS attack. I hope now this DOS, DDoS, botnet, unintentional, intentional, CNC, these things, these terms are going to be clear, crystal clear to you, right?
Yep.
Okay. So now I was talking about the techniques of DOS attack. So there's a technique called SynFlood. Okay, or it's called okay, it's called SynFlood. Okay, So what happens in this case is, what attacker does is, attacker sends whole lot of SYN packets. There's an attacker on the left side. The attacker is going to send SYN packets to the server.
Yep.
So how does a normal server going to reply? This server is going to reply with a SYNAC. That's how a three-way handshake happens, right?
Yeah. So
Syn.
it sent a request to the server, acknowledge, and attacker sent the other.
Now the attacker, so to complete this three-way handshake, now the attacker is required to send the final acknowledgement packet.
Mhm.
Then only three-way handshake is going to be completed.
Mhm.
Up till this point, if I talk about, up till this point, the connection is not yet established. When SYN is sent and SYNAC is received, it is not a established connection. It is called half open connection, right?
Mhm.
So what happens is, when a server is having a half open connection, the server is expecting for that connection to be completed. Okay, so server starts allocating resource to those half open connections.
Okay.
Okay, so what attacker does is, attacker never sends the acknowledgement. Attacker never sends the yeah,
So right here, they are not doing the three-way handshaking.
right. So
They
it
are
is
just
the
cutting off
attacker
in
is
the middle.
right. So attacker is not allowing a connection to establish with the server. It is just
Mhm.
half opening them, not fully opening them. And what the server is doing is, al- server has already started allocating a resource, a piece of resource, to those half open connection, expecting it to turn into a full open connection. That full connection is going to be established, so it is going to require some resource. So I'll allocate it during the half open only.
Mhm.
Okay, so what happens is, how the server works. Server is going to allocate a resource, the connection is
Mhm.
going to establish. When the connection is going to be closed, that resource is going to be freed and go into the and will be utilized by the server for another connection,
Mhm.
right? But in this case, let's say server has server had 1 2 3 4 5 6, let's say 6 MB of RAM. Let's say hypothetically, we are taking an example, 6 MB of RAM is there on the server side. What happens when a single half open connection is created? 1 MB of RAM is allocated to this connection.
Mhm.
So 1 MB is allocated to one half open connection. The
Mhm.
attacker sends 6 SYN packets.
Mhm.
Attacker sends 6 SYN packets. To this, the server replies with 6 SYNAC, resulting in all this RAM being allocated these 6 half open connections. So 6 MB of RAMs are going to be allocated. So that was the total RAM that it had. Now what happens if another connection arrives, another SYN packet arrives, somebody else tries to visit it? Now the server do not have any resource to allocate to this connection. Server do not have anything to entertain this request. Okay, so server is not going to make any reply to these requests.
Okay.
Server is still waiting for an acknowledgement from the above 6 open half open request. That acknowledgement is going to come, the connection is going to be opened. When the connection is going to be closed, the RAM is going to be freed.
Mhm.
Okay, and then that RAM is going to be allocated to some other resource, to some other process, to some other connection.
So let me be clear right here. So
Yeah,
attacker sent 6 MB of like 6 requests of 1 MB per request, and server
Hmm.
got it. Server acknowledge and send the acknowledgement SYN to the attacker. Attacker is not sending the acknowledgement that I received the acknowledgement,
Yeah,
but server is still waiting, and server 6 MB of request is already on there.
yeah, right.
Okay, and server is waiting that if as soon as I get it, I will be released the that RAM space again to use on other acknowledgement or any other
The
requests,
connection. Right. Another
another
request.
connection. Yeah, but it's still like it's not free yet.
Right.
Attacker is still okay.
Okay, so this is called your SYN flood.
Okay.
Okay, this is called your what it is called. It is called your SYN flood. That the server. So hypothetically, I just took a 6 MB RAM,
Mm-hmm.
only
Mm-hmm.
6 requests. Practically, it's like 600, 6,000, 60,000 requests. Okay,
Yep.
for a system, it is not that difficult to generate that much number of requests
Mm-hmm.
automatically. Okay, so let's close this thing. Okay, I'll start with the DOS, then this connection is going to be closed. Let me just wait for a minute or two. Let me just wait
Sure.
for it to finish. So we'll see how to perform DOS attack now. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and the target for today is going to be this website, ishadi.com. Okay, so this is going to be our target today. The website is kishadi.com. Let's go back
Is
to my
it
terminal.
like a actual website that we are taking on, or is just like a
Demo
for
website.
practice demo websites?
No, actually, it's a live website. Okay,
Okay,
yeah,
but it's for demo. Anybody can come and do it.
nope, it's a live website.
Okay, just want to make sure.
Yeah, it's a live website, live functioning website built for a legitimate use, legitimate purpose. Okay,
Okay.
so actually,